Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria City Council will consider $12 million of new debt for capital improvements.
Victoria County Commissioners vote on a new program for the Victoria Regional Airport.
And gas prices are falling. Find out how much they've dropped in the past week.
Well, it finally feels like December with temperatures very December-like. Now, the rain that we had is beginning to pull away. Tomorrow we'll see a little sunshine, but there's more rain expected this weekend. Talking about it coming up in just a few minutes.
And we're taking a look into one more Crossroads team that'll be in action this week. See what lies ahead for the Yoakum Bulldogs, all coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
The city of Victoria is getting ready for a big round of street and public safety upgrades, including the Bonaire Street reconstruction in 2026. To help fund these projects, Council will consider issuing $12 million in certificates of obligation. They will vote tomorrow on a resolution to start publishing notice of that debt on December 10th. The funding would cover street and sidewalk work, drainage improvements, public safety projects, and park upgrades. City leaders say Victoria has the debt capacity to handle the $12 million without impacting its financial health. If you're planning some holiday travel, the Victoria Regional Airport is rolling out a deal that could help cut your costs. Victoria County Commissioners today approved a promotion that gives all city and county residents a $100 reimbursement on a round-trip flight from Victoria to Houston. If you want in, though, the clock is ticking. It is a limited time promotion.
So what we're doing for the holidays is from December 1st up until January the 6th. Anybody who books a flight and completes the flight from here to Houston and back can apply for a return of $100.
Flyers must show proof of residency, a booking receipt from United Airlines, and either a screenshot or paper copy of both boarding passes in order to qualify for the reimbursement. The last day to turn in requests for reimbursement will be January 31st. And county commissioners also voted today to lift the burn ban that has been in place since early October. With recent rain finally easing drought conditions, officials say it is safe to end the restrictions effective immediately. So outdoor burning is now allowed again in Victoria County, but emergency management officials are still asking folks to use common sense, keep a close eye on any fire, and report smoke or flames if something does not look right.
And Goliad County Commissioners are also allowing outside burning as of today, rescinding a ban first issued on September 8th. Emergency management says burn barrel regulations are still in effect. So we know the rain ended the burn bans. Now, when will the cold end? That's the next question, yes.
And we'll find out from Mac as well if we'll see some more rain coming in the forecast.
Well, wait a minute. Weren't you the guys telling me it's too hot, we need some cold weather?
Oh, I liked it today. I had my sweater.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Got outside.
Well, for those of you who are complaining about the heat, here's the cold, and it'll be here for a while now. Tomorrow we'll see a little bit more sun than we saw today, but the rain generally will be ending, and I'll be talking about that coming up in just a moment.
Rockport police are sharing new details about an incident outside a church over the weekend. Around 10 o'clock Sunday morning, officers responded to reports of a man waving a gun and yelling after stepping out of a pickup truck on FM 1781 near a church. Police and Aransas County deputies stopped the driver as he tried to leave. The man, identified as An Nguyen of Rockport, cooperated and was taken into custody. Officers recovered the gun from his vehicle. Nguyen is facing deadly conduct and unlawful firearm possession charges. No one was hurt, and police say there is no ongoing threat.
A court hearing comes up tomorrow for a former school principal facing a theft charge. Lavaca County deputies arrested Jody Mildred Thompson in August. Investigators say she stole between $2,500 and $30,000. Thompson's principal contract was renewed by the Ezell ISD board in February. By May, though, the school board moved to cancel her contracts for not having the needed certifications to continue in the position. The court hearing is at 9 a.m. at the Lavaca County Courthouse.
A Victoria man accused of capital murders in the city and county of Victoria has his plea date moved. Jacob Kelly originally had a plea hearing scheduled today. The 37-year-old is accused of shooting and killing Jeffrey Delaney, Madeline Delaney, and Mitchell Hubbard in July. Kelly is now scheduled for a plea hearing in January on the charges of capital murder, interfering with a police service animal, resisting arrest, and terroristic threat against a public servant, all connected to the same incidents.
We are learning about a Thanksgiving Day rescue of a 12-year-old girl in the Houston area. Fire officials in the Woodlands say the girl was digging a hole on a sandbar when it collapsed on top of her. She ended up trapped in the sand. Her father was able to clear the sand around her head so she could breathe until crews arrived. Responders from 4 agencies were able to clear the sand and save the girl, who was unharmed. She was released to her parents after a medical evaluation.
A makeshift memorial in Washington, D.C. is honoring the 2 National Guard troops shot in the city last week. One of the Guard members died from her wounds, the other still in critical condition.
Leanna Golden has more on the memorial and why some residents turned out to pay their respects.
It doesn't matter that D.C. local Heather Griffiths didn't get a chance to meet Sarah Beckstrom. Knowing the West Virginia soldier died serving her country is enough to bring Griffiths to tears.
This group of folks who are young and ambitious and choose to help our country on our country.
Beckstrom's brother-in-arms, Andrew Wolf, is still battling for his life. The array of personalized notes, American flags, flowers, and photographs hand-delivered to the spot he was shot, powerful reminders the community he was protecting is rooting for him to pull through.
God bless them for doing it, because they have a tough job to do, and one of my best friends is a police officer, and you never know if they're going to come home or not.
The suspect in Wednesday's shooting, 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakanwal, is an Afghan national. He's now facing a first-degree murder charge, and top prosecutors have indicated he could face the death penalty, the ultimate price, and a controversial one at that.
I'd rather see him serve a sentence. I'd rather see him grow old and potentially give us more answers.
It's hard to be the judge and the jury, right? But he was careless in what he did. And as far as I'm concerned, he has no reason to live anymore.
As flags fly high over D.C., troops in uniform continue to walk the very streets Wolf and Beckstrom were walking to. As they pass the memorial growing by the minute, these locals urge their neighbors to take a moment to do the same.
Because it's important to pay tribute to Sarah and all of these amazing men who are out here protecting us, men and women who are protecting us.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said Sunday investigators believe the suspected shooter became radicalized once he arrived in the United States from Afghanistan. The Justice Department could present a new indictment against James Comey to a grand jury as soon as this week. CNN reports whatever comes next may happen quickly, and that no matter what, prosecutors will likely present new indictments against the former FBI director and New York Attorney General Letitia James to grand juries in the Eastern District of Virginia. The previous cases against Comey and James were dismissed last week. Both Comey and James pleaded not guilty.
If you still haven't gotten around to getting a real ID, it may cost you more to board your next flight. The TSA says travelers turning up to airport security checkpoints without a real ID or passport will face a $45 fee starting February 1st. That is up from $18 fee proposed last month. The fee covers a 10-day travel window. Flyers will be able to pay it online before arriving at the airport. The agency says the fee is necessary to cover the costs of enhanced ID verification system, and they warn those travelers without acceptable identification can expect delays.
New data from Gas Buddy says the national average for a gallon of gas fell to its lowest level in over 4 years. The cost on average coming in at $2.95, 8.5 cents lower since last week and down 5.4 cents from a year ago. Gas Buddy says the decline is being attributed to strong refinery output and lowering crude oil prices. Gas prices in Texas dropped 11 cents in the last week. AAA Texas reports the average gas price in Victoria is $2.52 a gallon. That's down 7 cents from last week. If you see news happening, call our newsroom at 361-576-0026 or send us an email at staff@crossroadstoday.com.
And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, a well-known rapper from Houston hears the verdict in her case in Florida.
Also ahead, if you spent money today on Cyber Monday, you are not alone. After 2 days of deliberations, a federal jury in Florida reached a verdict in Megan Thee Stallion's defamation lawsuit. A jury sided with the Houston native, agreeing that blogger Milagro Grams, whose real name is Milagro Cooper, defamed and harassed the rapper. But the jury limited damages to less than 6 figures. Jurors first awarded to the rapper $75,000 before a U.S. District Court judge knocked it down to $59,000. The civil suit was over material the defendant posted after Megan was shot 5 years ago.
A police manhunt is underway for a Georgia inmate who escaped custody at a hospital today. Rockdale County deputies say Timothy Shane should be considered armed and dangerous. Authorities say they took Shane to the hospital Sunday night after a reported suicide attempt in jail. Investigators say he slipped away from the hospital around 1:30 in the morning, stole an SUV, and later crashed in downtown Atlanta. He then ran off on foot. Authorities say Shane was in jail with a history of felony drug and weapons charges.
Sports betting officially became legal in Missouri today, marking the end of a long wait for gamblers who previously had to cross state lines to place their bets. The new law, approved by voters in November 2024, allows Missourians to place bets through mobile apps and at in-person sports books located at casinos and some stadiums. Those operators will pay a 10% tax on gaming revenue, and most of that money will be directed to public education. Adobe Analytics reports U.S. shoppers are expected to spend more than $14 billion online today. Higher consumer spending than last year happened on Black Friday and now on Cyber Monday.
Michael Yoshida has more on those who are spending and how much they're buying. It paints a clearer picture of how tariffs and inflation are impacting shoppers differently.
U.S. consumers spent $11.8 billion online this Black Friday, with an estimated $14.2 billion more expected to be spent Cyber Monday, according to Adobe Analytics.
This 5-day period from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday is significant for retailers.
Money going into online shopping carts could reach new heights this year, but consumer experts warn people might actually be buying less. And the high dollar numbers are largely due to the impact of tariffs and higher prices from inflation.
What's happening is that the number of items purchased is actually down, but prices are higher. Average selling prices are higher. So we are seeing the increase in spending due to that inflation.
National consumer expert Claudia Lambana says who is spending their money is another key thing to pay attention to.
The ones that have higher income are spending at will, but those who are less affluent are budgeting.
Some argue it's part of the so-called K-shaped economy.
They're talking about that funny looking capital letter. You know, there's the bit that stands up and there's a bit that goes up and a bit that goes down.
With higher earners getting a boost from stock market investments and home valuation, while lower earners are increasingly living paycheck to paycheck.
Those who are already financially very well off, their economy is going pretty well for them. Those who are less well off, working and middle class Americans, they're the lower part of that K, and maybe their economy is pointing south.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
To get more news, weather, and sports, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
For some, snowfall does not just affect the vehicle in the driveway that you may have to dig out and clear. If you work for a car dealership like this one, there are many vehicles that need to be cleared. That was the job of several employees of this dealership in Wisconsin today after several inches of snowfall over the weekend. Employees cleared away all the snow from vehicles so that sales could be made. More snow is expected in the forecast there this evening, which may make this a daily habit for a few days. Mac, the dealer offered to take some money off the sticker price because of the snow, but they couldn't find the sticker under the snow.
The numbers were frozen. You're right, but that is part of the new big storm that's moving across the Midwest tonight. We'll talk about it coming up in a moment. Right now we're at 47 degrees. We've been stuck there. We've been at 46 degrees still since sunrise. We managed to get up to only 51, and that occurred at around midnight last night. So we've been on the chilly side, of way down below our 70-degree average, but at least we got 1/1600 of an inch of rain. Coming up, we'll be talking about the fact we'll see a little sun tomorrow, but then there's more rain on the horizon for this week. We'll talk about it after this. Well, good afternoon. It's Monday. A lot of people, I guess, traveling back home, back to work. Of course, now the weather is certainly feeling like December. You see these green lines? These are the gusty winds coming out of the north. Anything that's above 10 miles an hour. So over here, basically, you can see no lines. That means it's not over 10 miles an hour. So that's what we're seeing right about here is that offshore wind. Now, the cloud deck is streaming overhead, and that's keeping us on the cloudy, damp side. But there is a clearing line out here, probably near San Angelo, Kerrville, those areas. They're clearing up, and that will slowly move toward our area. The light rain we had over the region, well, that's pulling out. It's already into Louisiana, and you can see how in northern Louisiana, or up in Arkansas, actually, it becomes snow, and then it's snow all the way northbound. As a matter of fact, they're getting that big snowstorm right about here. This is the first one of the season, and it's right on time, if you don't mind me saying. It has produced probably 3 to 6 inches of snow from Minnesota, Chicago, all the way down into the St. Louis area where they're having to deal with the holiday and the season that we're getting into. Now, tonight we're down here, there's Victoria. There's freeze warnings up for Williamson County. That's the one just above Travis County and Austin, and on up into the probably northern portions of the hill country. But that's as far south as the freeze is concerned. Now all of this area is what has the freeze warning for tonight. That's where the snow is occurring and the cold weather, and it's going to be moving, traveling up into the northeast pretty soon. So we'll be cold tonight. We'll be in the 30s, but no freezing expected. 37 for Victoria, 37 in Karnes City, 35 up in Schulenburg. We are looking for a little sun tomorrow, and that'll help get the temperature up to about 58. You know, we were 46 most of today. We'll be at 58 tomorrow, so it'll be a warming trend. How about that? But how long will that last? Well, not very long, because through the next 5 days, all of the rain should be occurring. Let's see if it didn't work. Okay, well, we'll go to the next map. There you see the future temperatures, and this would be tonight, tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you can see how everybody is dealing with winter time now that it's December, except our friends down in Florida. Miami is at 83 for tomorrow. So let's take a look at your forecast for the next couple of days. Looking for a sun for a little bit tomorrow, but it doesn't last for very long. There you see the 42 low temperature in Port Lavaca, getting up to only 57 as a high. Cuero, you'll be down into the mid-30s, so you'll need to bundle up tonight. And tomorrow you'll get up to 57, but you will see a little bit of sun. Doesn't last very long, because by Wednesday the clouds roll back in, few light showers, but then it's Thursday into Friday when the next storm system pulls through. That'll give us a pretty good shot at rain, maybe even some thunder shower activity early on Friday, but fortunately, it looks like it clears out in time just for the coming weekend. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. We'll toss it back to Shawna.
I'm sure the heating companies are staying very busy this week.
Oh, yes, they're loving it.
Yes. All right, well, let's send it over now to Ray Robinson. And Ray, it absolutely feels like football season outside now, too.
Yes, it does. But we're seeing what's next for the Yoakum Bulldogs as we got a rundown of the upcoming basketball games as well for tomorrow coming up in your sports. The Yoakum Bulldogs are a Crossroads team known for their athletic ability throughout their roster. And later this week in their 4th-round matchup, they look to build on that strength and advance further in the postseason. On Friday night, the Bulldogs faced off against the Hardin Hornets, and it was a second-half eruption for Yoakum, starting with defense. After Hardin put up only a field goal and a touchdown in the first half, they were held scoreless in the second half. Meanwhile, Yoakum scored 3 touchdowns in the second half, leading them to a 28-10 victory. This Friday, the Bulldogs will take on the reigning state champions in Columbus in the state quarterfinal at Bastrop Memorial Stadium. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. And taking a break from Crossroads football for a second, talk about some upcoming basketball games from our local teams in action tomorrow. Starting off right here in Victoria as the West boys get ready to take on the Gregory Portland Wildcats. West fresh off their 62-49 victory against Bishop. And meanwhile, the East boys will be in action tomorrow as they host the Cornerstone Christian at 6:30 p.m. The Titans are looking to turn things around with their current 2-6 record. Can they get a win at home? And over in Goliad, we have an exciting Crossroads matchup as the Goliad Tigers host Industrial tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. The Tigers have started their season strong with a 2-0 record, while Industrial holds a solid 4-1 record. And the Crossroads matchup doesn't just end there. The St. Joseph boys will host the Louise Hornets tomorrow at 6:15 p.m. The Flyers are flying high with an undefeated 3-0 record and will be looking to add more wins to their column. And on the girls' side, the Cuervo girls will battle Floresville tomorrow on the road at 6:30 p.m., looking to build momentum in non-district play. And the Shiner girls basketball season is just getting underway. After a tough 0-2 start, they'll have a chance to turn things around as they host St. Paul tomorrow at 6 p.m. And one more team from the girls' side we're going to talk about is the Edna Cowgirls. And this team is currently 7-2, a positive team going into their matchup against Ingleside on the road tomorrow at 6:15 p.m. And switching over to the pro hardwood, the Houston Rockets are on the road taking on the Utah Jazz tonight. And this is a part of a back-to-back where the Houston Rockets beat the Jazz last night with the final score of 129-101. A win for the Rockets would help push them into the second seed as they are currently 2 games behind the Lakers for the second seed. Steven Adams, Tari Eason, and Dorian Finney-Smith are out. And college football season is wrapping up, and the state of Texas will be represented in a conference championship game this week. And it's not Texas A&M, not the University of Texas, it's Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been a dark horse national championship contender all season long, maintaining a top 10 position for most of the year. This Saturday at 11 a.m., they will prepare to face BYU for the Big 12 championship. This matchup echoes a regular season game from November 8th, where Texas Tech secured a decisive 29-7 victory. Looking ahead, there's still exciting possibility of a Big 3 from Texas A&M, UT, and Tech, all making it to the college football playoffs. That does it for your sports. Don?
Ray, thank you. We're back in a moment. Oh dear, no, roe deer. The story of how some roe deer were saved from freezing to death in Siberia. Tonight, a group of fishermen saved several roe deer stuck on the icy and slippery surface of a frozen lake in western Siberia. Exhausted and unable to get back on their feet, the deer faced freezing to death or harming themselves while trying to escape. But the fishermen first carried the deer to shore, then used sledges to pull them to safety. One of them said most of the deer were helped out unharmed and in reasonable condition. Temperatures later dropped and the deer resumed crossing the lake without slipping up. Nice job, fishermen.
It looks like some
Bambi
people
there.
trying to ski.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Trying to ski.
That would be me trying to ski.
Some
and,
skiers we know, yeah.
Yes, yes. Hey, we
I'm
wanted
glad
also,
they were all rescued.
you know, we also wanted to say, because our new set looks fantastic with all this wonderful.
Did you notice?
McAdams Floral Victoria, celebrating 50 years in Victoria, came in with all this wonderful stuff, poinsettias and candy canes. And
I came in early. It was a bunch of little elves running around. It was really cute. So thanks
we
to
hid them for the
McAdams.
We hid the elves. Till later.
So we hope that it puts you in the holiday season feeling, because we certainly do here in the studio. Folks, we've got a little bit of sun coming toward us, but just for about a day on Tuesday, because by Wednesday, Thursday, we pick up the clouds and another chance for rain. Temperatures will stay in December-like categories all the way through the weekend, when we finally see a little bit more sun this coming weekend.
I like this. You get the blanket, wrap up, watch TV.
That's right, bundle up.
I smelled somebody in my neighborhood had a fire in the fireplace last night.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us.